Hey, how's it going? We're going to talk about ADHD medications, obviously, and I want to talk about 6 reasons that someone may choose to stop taking ADHD medication. I mean, ADHD medication changed my life. It made me feel like I was a more productive person. When I took Adderall, I had energy, laser-like focus. I felt like I had my life together, and I felt like Adderall was the binding that kept it all together. So why would someone stop this? People say that this is a life-saving medication because of how much better it makes their lives. Why would someone want to wean off the supple tit of productivity and effectiveness that is the life-changing nectar of ADHD medications like Adderall? Note, I am not a doctor, and nothing I say should be taken as professional advice. Always consider your doctor's recommendation when it comes to medication. I'm sharing my personal experience to help you think critically. This is a dangerous flame we're basking in, and it can both make and or break you. It is not to be taken lightly. You clicking on this video may say more to yourself than anything I'm about to say. I wish you the best on your ADHD journey, and I hope you find a way to achieve your greatest self, whether with or without medication, and despite any limitations you may face on the way. Also, I'm going to keep saying Adderall, but what I'm saying applies to any and all of these stimulants. But again, this isn't medical advice. This is more so encouragement for people who have already made this choice and want encouragement. If you want to change your relationship to your meds, talk to the person who writes your prescription. Simple enough. For all intents and purposes, this is a vlog. 6 reasons someone may stop taking ADHD medications. Number 1. Dependence. Adderall can be highly addictive, especially when used improperly for extended periods. It's a stimulant that affects the brain's dopamine system, which is responsible for pleasure and reward. This can lead to a cycle of craving as the drug boosts focus and energy, creating euphoria or enhanced performance. This is an addiction, both physical and psychological, and it can develop itself over time. Personally, it crept up on me after 16 years of use, and if you are interested in my entire journey with ADHD and its medications, I published a book last year that chronicles my own journey. I'll put a link in the description. As tolerance develops, doctors may increase your dosage, making quitter harder as the dose gets higher. And once you become dependent, the only way out is withdrawal, which can be difficult and prolonged. Easier with the help of a chosen professional. And trust me, it seems impossible at first, but you can shake it. I'm here talking about this nearly 12 years after I stopped taking Adderall, and I'm good. I'm okay. Withdrawal symptoms like fatigue, depression, and irritability often drive continued use in retreat. Withdrawal symptoms are often confused with unchecked ADHD symptoms. Adderall has a significant potential for misuse and addiction. I also linked my video about what I wish I knew before quitting in the description if that can be helpful to you. Number 2, side effects. Every effect of stimulants is a side effect. While you might gorge on the benefits of increased productivity and emotional regulation, you have to remember that it comes at a cost. Adderall can cause increased anxiety, jitters, insomnia, weight loss, suppressed appetite, elevated heart rate, mood swings, personality changes, urinary changes, sexual side effects. The list goes on, and many people seem to have their own unique side effects to deal with while taking these meds. In my case, I had a completely different personality on Adderall, an amplified version of myself. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You're transforming into 2 different personas, and Adderall's effects, like Jekyll's potion, enhance focus, energy, and productivity, but they also cause unpredictable side effects. As you use it more and more, you can experience mood swings, dependence, and even some kind of identity crisis. The longer you rely on it, the more unstable you become without it. Which leads me to reason number 3 to stop taking ADHD medication. And by the way, if you enjoy this, subscribe. Mental health and emotional health. When I was on Adderall, I now realized that I was a version of myself who was somewhat emotionally unavailable, not unfriendly, but guarded and socially performative. And while Adderall can improve focus and cognition, regular brain chemistry modification can lead to feeling weird, numb, or anxious. I'd even argue that Adderall pushed me further along a certain spectrum that's well known for missing social cues, etc. The constant chemical stimulation eventually led to burnout, depression, and an inability to feel like yourself without the drug. Many people also find themselves curbing the effects of Adderall with other substances like cannabis or alcohol, as smoking and drinking at the end of the day to take off the edge. Quitting the medication will likely bring all this emotional turmoil to the forefront. But remember, the longer you take the drug, the more it becomes a crutch. When you take it away, the structure of your emotional and mental state can feel flimsy and vulnerable, and You can build a new support system over time with much effort. And it's not easy, but there are resources out there to help you if you choose this challenging road. And the process of quitting these medications is not for the faint of heart. But if you choose to take on this challenge, you open yourself up to an opportunity for personal rebirth and becoming. I'll put some of those resources I've used in the description. Reason number 4, you want to be natural. When I took Adderall, I'd work on art projects, edit videos, and create all sorts of things. But often I would start a project on Adderall, and then if I returned to finish it off of Adderall, I only found that I struggled to complete it. It seemed that I couldn't maintain what I started without it, but eventually I wanted to grow. Eventually I just wanted to grow into who I really was and to develop my skills without relying on Adderall. It felt like part of my personality started to become as synthetic as the medication I was taking. This isn't the case for everyone, I'm sure of that. And it was the opposite of it at first. It felt like Adderall unearthed my true self at first, but it began to creep in over time, and it started to feel like I was living a lie. And that's just me. And that's just me. That could have been something that was just my nonsense and my belief that was a hang up of mine that I didn't feel. I felt like if I was using a drug to be myself, that I was inauthentic, and I, rather than getting over that, I just stopped taking the drugs. Adderall, I didn't feel like was helping me mature. The challenge of developing without it pushed me to improve my cognitive performance through study, mindfulness, exercise, and hard work, time management, and that maturity may be waiting for you on the other side of withdrawal. There's no arrogance in being all natural. It's just a certainty that this is who I am, without the delusion of better or more capable versions of myself created by the drug. Reason number 5, someone may want to stop taking ADHD medication. Health concerns, long-term risks. There are potential long-term risks and concerns associated with the regular use of stimulants, especially amphetamines. The longer we take them as a culture, the more these effects unravel on the whole. Many of these risks are still unknown, but there are some frightening studies about the neurological and cardiovascular effects of long-term stimulant use. While you can debate the validity of studies, I'd say the sooner you stop using amphetamines, the lower your risk of long-term side effects becomes. Simple enough. Some people experience seizures, cardiovascular issues, or even amphetamine-induced psychosis. Personally, I was very skinny, and the amphetamines did once cause a blood clot to travel from my calf to my thigh, which could have gone to my lungs and caused a pulmonary embolism, potentially killing me. What you put in your body has an effect, and sometimes what you take can also take you. Final thoughts. For anyone considering quitting Adderall, it's crucial to talk to a healthcare provider before making any changes. Gradual tapering, professional support, and alternative treatment can help manage the transition and ensure your health and well-being are prioritized. But I'll leave you with this bonus tip number 6, which may sound contradictory to caution, but that is to buck the system. We live in a dystopia, like the one we were warned about as children. If you don't fit into the mold, they'll shape you into it. If something's wrong with you, take a pill and don't think about it. Look at who manufactures your medications. Think about the institutions you're supporting by funneling your money or your insurance money into their business. You're inviting this entity into your body, influencing your actions, thoughts, and behaviors. This is a serious allowance. And for someone who's rebellious and independent, I struggled with the fact that I was supporting a system I didn't fully align with and letting their manufactured products into my body and mind. I struggled with making myself reliant on them for access to my own identity. Quitting Adderall helped me feel more independent from that massive machine, and even though I still find myself regularly pressed into the machine of our modern society, I feel better about this one choice to not ingest industrial amphetamines for now. And that's not to say if you take any medication like insulin and stuff like that, you're just a cog in the machine or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that like anyone is any better or worse for it. It's just for me, I had a hang up about that participation, and maybe you do too, maybe you don't. But I personally struggled a lot with my relationship to these companies, and the fact that I was just kind of letting them in. It felt like a point, something. It bothered me, and even though it's unavoidable, the system we're in is huge. It's just one more thing you can reclaim from yourself from giant corporations, is that your mind. Anyways, I hope that helps. Subscribe to my channel and check out my book. If you're going through it, I commend you, and I hope this video is a small grain of sand in what will become a mountain of positive change in your life. Thanks so much.